गरीबों की, मजलूमों की आवाज़ सुनी जाए और गरीबों के से इंसाफ हो, नौजवानों को रोजगार मिले, आप सब लोग, आपके दिलों में एक सेफ्टी का एहसास पैदा हो जाए, तो अपने वोट का इस्तेमाल करें.
So, Madhilata calls herself the face of Hindutva. What would you call yourself?
I am the face of Indian nationalism.
Sir, five national issues you're seeking vote for today.
I've already said it, but I don't want to get into this trap of appealing for vote on the day of polling when the campaigning.
What are your five national issues, sir?
No, there are many issues. See, what I feel, the people of India should understand, especially the youth, the Narendra Modi government has done what they have done with the Indian Army recruitment with Agniveer. They will definitely, if Mr. Modi comes back in power, he will replicate the same scheme for CRPF, SSB, Railway Protection Force, BSF. Because if that is done for the army, which goes and stands at the borders and protect the country and us and the Indian citizens, he will definitely do this, because 4-year service, you are out.
So, they claim that only the cream is chosen. They claim that the cream is chosen.
So the same argument will be given.
Secret alliance.
So, see, if this can be done for the army, why wouldn't this government do it, which we don't want? Now, can you imagine, at the age of 22, 23, the youth is unemployed after having done 4 years.
But they get benefits after 4 years.
What benefit? There is no benefit. There is no pension, no medical, no education. Nothing is there. So, this is what I'm appealing to the youth of India. Please understand this. अब उसको हिंदी में बोल देता हूँ कि मैं ये बताना चाह रहा हूँ इस मुल्क के युवाओं को, जो इस देश की आबादी का 50% हिस्सा है, जो हमारे देश का मुस्तकबिल है.
Well, the electoral fate of several star candidates, including Asaduddin Owaisi, who is in fact contesting against BJP's Madhavi Lata in Telangana, Y.S. Sharmila in Andhra Pradesh, Akhilesh Yadav and Ajay Mishra-Teni in Uttar Pradesh, Mahua Moitra, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Shatrughan Sinha and Yusuf Pathan in Bengal, and Pankaj Munde in Maharashtra is being decided in this phase. Now, while Owaisi is seeking his 5th term from Hyderabad, Akhilesh Yadav is seeking re-election. Meanwhile, Chandrababu Naidu is in fact speaking after casting his vote. Let's listen.
అప్రోచ్ అయ్యాం. నేను ఒకటే ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నా, ఎలక్షన్ కమిషన్ ఆధ్వర్యంలో ఎలక్షన్ జరుగుతున్నాయి. ఇది రాష్ట్ర ఎన్నికల కమిషన్ కాదు. ఆ విషయమే నాయకులు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. ఎవరైనా ఒకటే కోరుతున్నా, ప్రజాస్వామ్యంలో ప్రజాస్వామ్యాన్ని అపహాస్యం చేయాలని ప్రయత్నం చేస్తే మాత్రం ఎట్టి పరిస్థితుల్లో మా కార్యకర్తలు కూడా గమనుండరు.
Meanwhile, it is quite interesting to see the clash of the titans that is taking place. While Owaisi is in fact seeking the 5th term from Hyderabad, Akhilesh Yadav is seeking re-election from Kannauj. Shatrughan Sinha is facing the BJP's SS Ahluwalia in Asansol. Union Minister Ajay Kumar Mishra-Teni is eyeing a hat-trick from Kheri, and TMC's Mahua Moitra, who was expelled from the Lok Sabha in the wake of the cash for query allegation, is seeking re-election from Krishnanagar in West Bengal. Thus, the big fights in this phase are in Telangana, UP, Bengal, and more so in Andhra Pradesh, where Jagan Mohan Reddy of the YSRCP is locked in a 3-way fight with the Congress and the NDA, comprising of Chandrababu Naidu, BJP, and Pawan Kalyan's Jana Sena. Meanwhile, assembly elections are also happening with regards to Odisha, where 28 seats are in fact up for the polls in its first phase of assembly elections. Meanwhile, the several seats are from the Lok Sabha are also going to polls in Odisha. So this is the kind of setup for the 4th phase, where we are seeing several titans in fact in the fray when it comes to the polling as such. Meanwhile, there have been several instances in which we have in fact seen the polling also rising. We have also seen that several stars have also come out as well. Allu Arjun and NTR were seen campaigning, as well as they had now come for the voting as such. We have in fact seen them in fact asking people to come out to vote in large numbers. Well, to join and to discuss about this, we have with us PVS Murli, who is a senior journalist, as well as KV Prasad, senior journalist, also joining us, Subir Bhaumik, who also joins us, and Ajit K. Jha, senior journalist, who is also joining us. Well, let me in fact go to PVS Murli. Murli, when we look at Telangana, the entire fight has been concentrated on Hyderabad for a reason. And in Hyderabad, we are speaking about YC versus Madhavi Lata. Do you think this entire elections, when it comes to the Lok Sabha, has been hijacked by just what is going to be this clash in Hyderabad?
Yeah, very true. Let me put it this way, that the hype is more because of a tough fight apparently being given by the BJP, and it's more created in the media because of their respective oratory and debatable capabilities. Now, besides that, if the kind of an appreciation that Madhavi Lata got from Prime Minister, and as well as her good words from the Home Minister, I think the kind of hype that is created is more in social media is already given a verdict that it would be a kind of cakewalk for Madhavi Lata. But that's besides, if we remove the wheel and get into the depth of the voter profile in Hyderabad, whether we like it or not, about 65% constitute Muslims, as well as, which means that
Well, in fact, we will try to get back to PVS Murli once we get that connection right. KV Prasad, in fact, joined us, senior journalist as well. KV Prasad, how do you see the fight in Andhra Pradesh? Jagannath Reddy said that it's a bipolar contest that is happening over there. It's YCP versus the rest. The alliance that we are talking about, TDP, Janasena, as well as the BJP there. And of course, at the margins, you have the Congress and the left parties in the Andhra Pradesh factor. But how do you see this so-called bipolar, as Jagan describes it? Is it that bipolar, or is it a multipolar context which in fact could result in the YSRCP actually fighting on many fronts?
Well, I think it's largely bipolar in the sense that you have the party which is defending its work in the last 5 years, that is YSRCP Congress of Jagan Mohan Reddy, the Chief Minister, because you also have the assembly elections, which for him is the bigger challenge, not so much of Lok Sabha. Of course, the party would like to have maximum number of members of parliament so that it has a voice when policies are being drafted in the country, and also particularly for the demands of the state. Of course, the Congress is there, but the Congress has been considerably weakened, as we saw in the last 10 years, post the reorganization of the state. So Jagan is by and large knows that. And of course, the other aspect is he knows that he's also facing a challenge in the form of his own sister, who has taken the cudgels on behalf of the Congress party. The family feud is now in the open. So that's probably one reason why tactically he's not talking of Shamila and the Congress being any challenge to him and his electoral fortune. So I think that's why probably strategically and tactically he's trying to focus it. Of course, the Congress will try and chip away a few of the votes, which traditional congressmen in the party in Andhra were looking for.
Well, in fact, we'll slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We will get you the latest on the elections on the other side.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Forever there are simultaneous election of parliament, assembly and municipality and panchayat. So that framework has to be given in the constitution. That amendment has been suggested.
Are you going to take away the power of dissolution?
I mean, it doesn't require any rocket science to do this. It's a simple constitutional amendment, and the idea is everything goes together.
The Law Commission has set the ball rolling for one nation, one election. Basically, if all goes well, then India may see simultaneous elections to Lok Sabha, state assemblies, municipalities and panchayats in 2029.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
It is fourth phase of the elections and there are a lot at stake in West Bengal. We have with us Subir Bhaumik, author and senior journalist, in fact, who joins us. Bhaumik, how do you see the West Bengal battle? And we have big names like Moitra, we have Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who are in fact going ahead and battling as well. And of course, you have what a lot of people have been saying, the outsiders who have been brought in, like Pathan as well as Shatrughan Sinha. How do you see TMC's approach when it comes to West Bengal, especially in these elections? Do you think that it is on a pin-down mode right now because of the various factors that happened just ahead of the elections? And how do you think Yusuf Pathan or Shatrughan Sinha, how do you see, is there an outsider tag that has been attached to them?
No, it's not outsider, it's very well calculated. Don't underestimate Mamata Banerjee. She is a very calculating politician. So Yusuf is going to fight in a constituency which is Muslim dominated, where Urdu-speaking Muslims are substantial in numbers, and Yusuf, because of his status as a cricket player and much else, and also because of the focus on the Muslim vote bank, I think it makes sense. I mean, she should have ideally got a good Muslim, local Muslim figure, but Yusuf is there because she wants Yusuf to be in parliament for very obvious reasons, for long-term reasons. As far as she has pitched a lot of her hopes on Mahua Moitra. Mahua Moitra is somebody BJP is desperate to keep out of the parliament. And not only BJP, Mr. Adani as well. So Mahua's fight is a real prestige battle, and Mamata Banerjee has backed her hammer and tongs, and she's going about it. You see, as far as the other outsider you're talking about, Shatrughan Sinha. Well, Asansol is a Bihari-dominated belt. It's the coal belt of the state, and there is a huge population of laborers who come from Bihar or Eastern UP, Hindi-speaking people. It makes, the earlier Trinamool candidate there, Mr. Tiwari, who was the mayor of Asansol, was also an Hindi-speaking person. It makes perfect sense to peel Shatrughan Sinha there for the very simple reason that Didi can always say, देखो ये बंदा बीजेपी में था और बीजेपी का बहुत मोदी जी का करीब था. Now he is with us. So she is making not only a political statement by fielding Yusuf or by fielding Shatrughan Sinha. She is really strongly backing Mahua Moitra. As far as Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, it's a question of him defending his own turn. He has gone quite a few places, quite a notch in national politics. As far as the Congress central leadership is concerned, he's been in the parliament in a very important position. But whether the strong man of Murshidabad, Bahrampur can defend his own turn when he's not been backed by Trinamool Congress, that's something. Because Mamata Banerjee ideally would like to see the end of Adhir in West Bengal politics. Because she thinks that Adhir is the single factor which has stood between.
Okay, we have
both
Adhir Ranjan in fact
Adhir
speaking to us. Subir ji, just 1 second, we'll just get to Adhir Ranjan's bite. Yeah.
4 आइसोलेटेड घटना घटी है, जैसे कि बड़ुआ की खरजुना जहां घटी है बेलडंगा में, हम लोग भी शिकायत दर्ज कर रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं ये नहीं कहता कि बहुत बड़े कुछ घटना घट चुके हैं, लेकिन 4-5 जगह हो रहे हैं। अभी आगे जब होते रहेंगे तब मैं शिकायत दर्ज करते रहूंगा, तब बोलूंगा। अभी मैं मनगढ़ंत बात तो नहीं कर सकते ना।
लेकिन दादा एक आखिरी सवाल है, जो आपके विरोधी की बात करें यूसुफ पठान, उनको कैसे देखते हैं?
मैं कुछ नहीं देखते उनको। आई डोंट केयर अ फिग फॉर हिम। मैं किसी को नहीं देखते। मेरे साथ संघर्ष, मेरे साथ लड़ाई, मैं TM70 और TMC पार्टी के और बीजेपी पार्टी के, मैं किसी व्यक्ति के साथ मेरा कोई लड़ाई नहीं है, लेकिन यूसुफ मतलब पठान को बेकार यहाँ खड़ा कर दिए गए।
Well, Subir Moming, just as you were speaking about Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, we had him in fact speaking to the media. That's why we had to cut you across. But that question that we were in fact asking, you were saying that Adhir Ranjan is only defending his seat. Has been Congress in West Bengal, has it been reduced only to the factor of Baharampur?
Not just Baharampur, they are important in a few places. You know what? Let me tell you something. You know, in the last election, we saw BJP doing very well here, because a lot of the left vote went towards, you know, the left vote went towards the BJP for the very simple reason that they wanted a defense in the face of very aggressive Trinamool Congress electioneering, Trinamool Congress politics. There was a clear saying that the comrades, to save their own back from Didi, had to run to Dilip Ghosh being at that point of time, you know, the very tough self-projecting, you know, BJP president. So with the CPM gerontocratic leadership rendered useless, the young CPM leaders, the young comrades, had to turn towards BJP. Similarly, a lot of Congress vote went towards Trinamool because they thought voting for Congress was useless here. It's like putting your egg in a broken basket. So they voted for Didi. Didi apna aadmi hai. After all, she is someone who's gone out of Congress. But in this election, let me tell you, both the left and the Congress, which has got together, has actually campaigned very seriously. They are trying, for them, it's a crisis of relevance. So they are trying desperately to win a few seats. The young CPM brigade, the JNU people, these people, Meenakshi, you know, Dipshita, they're very tough campaigners. But the fact is, CPM and Congress in Bengal faces a crisis of relevance. They're just there in the field to establish that they're still there, you know. But here the real fight is, and Yusuf Pathan. Now you see, the reason Mamta has fielded Yusuf Pathan there is because she wants Adhir to be stuck in his own constituency, you know, with a strong candidate and with a focused candidate there. Now Adhir may say a lot of things, that my fight is with BJP, but the real fight in his constituency is with the Trinamool Congress.
Right.
BJP is not a very big factor in Murshidabad, which is one of the Bengal's most heavily Muslim-dominated constituencies. But I am going to look very closely at Mahua Moitra. She had some problems in her party. She had some detractors who thought that she is, you know, growing too big for her boots, and that included some important people. But Mamta Banerjee, after the incident of her being framed or whatever she may say, you know, in this whole case, and she being expelled from parliament, instead of relegating her to the sidelines, Mamta Banerjee knows her value as a parliamentarian. Mamta Banerjee has backed her very strongly. And therefore, it's a question of a prestige fight. Because for Mamta to keep the pressure on Modi, it's important to get Mahua Moitra in the parliament. Because she's one parliamentarian who, on her own steam, can really keep the pressure on BJP. BJP का अच्छे अच्छे लोगों को दम निकाल लेती है. So, she is
in fact,
also.
Well, we will come back to you.
No, wait a minute. In Bengal, gender factor is very important. Mahua Moitra, Mamta Banerjee, we worship goddesses. We don't worship Ram in Bengal. We worship Durga and Kali. Mahua, Mamta, they are manifestation of something like that. So The gender factor is very important here. And someone like Mahua Moitra fighting this battle is going to energize the party in other parts, Joy Makali kind of thing. So that's very important. And that's a very, very important battle. Because I'm sure not only the BJP bosses, but Mr. Adani will have his eyes focused.
Well, Subir, we have in fact an ad commercial that we have to take right now. We will come back to you just after this short break.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
वो पूछते हैं कि हम कौन है गालिब, तुम बतलाओ कि हम बतलाएं क्या।
I told him, you do what you think is best. I will not insist.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
We're also now, in fact, joined in by Ajit Keja, senior journalist. And Ajit, I wanted to, in fact, talk about Maharashtra now because where important seats in Maharashtra are also going to the polls. And we've already spoken about how Maharashtra this time is, in fact, seeing several kind of fractured kind of a prediction that we are looking at. How do you see the Maharashtra scenario in the fourth phase?
See, out of the 11 seats going to polls this time, except for one, almost all were won by the BJP. So this is the BJP's stronghold. The trouble with Maharashtra in general is that the BJP might be doing well in Maharashtra, but it seems the two allies, the Ajit Pawar faction and the Shinde faction of Shiv Sena, they are not doing as well, at least during the campaign, and that's the indication we get. So, because the loyalty factor is very strong, especially among Marathas and Maharashtrians in general, they don't like this fact that Ajit Pawar almost, it seems, has stabbed his uncle and, has ended up getting the election symbol. In fact, you might have seen Sharad Pawar now talking about coming back to the Congress fold. So that, I think, is something which is giving a new direction to Maharashtra. Sharad Pawar being the tallest leader in the state in many ways. In fact, he was the one who came out with this out-of-box sort of, formula whereby the Shiv Sena left the BJP, last time and in the assembly and ended up forming the government along with the Congress. So I think that's the problem with Maharashtra right now, that even if the BJP is doing well, its allies are not doing so well within Maharashtra. And that's where the Congress and the NCP of Sharad Pawar and, smaller allies are actually coming up. And what is very important in this entire thing on the ground is the agitation by Marathas on the issue of reservation, which is going on for a long time. And that might upset some of the seats in which BJP is, had won last time. So it all depends on how this Maratha agitation plays out, and the fact that the Congress has very strategically focused on the issue of reservation, and the fact that Congress has focused on the issue of constitution and the scheduled castes, and the fact that any changes that the BJP might bring about, at least that's the narrative by the Congress, by Rahul Gandhi, that the fact that the BJP wanted Abki Baar 400 par 400 seats because they want to change the constitution and thus end reservation. Now, that is what has caught fire among the scheduled castes. You know that in Maharashtra, the scheduled caste, the Dalit movement at one time was at its heyday. It was, in fact, stronger than Uttar Pradesh. And that has kind of brought the whole issue of scheduled castes moving in a major way towards, the India bloc is what is getting the BJP its jitters, not only in Maharashtra, but in the other states as well. Uttar Pradesh, for example.
Right. In fact, in an exclusive conversation with News9's Deputy Managing Editor Kartikesh Sharma, BJP leader and man behind Odisha's 5T initiative, V.K. Pandian, shares his thoughts on the emotionally charged campaign challenging Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan to resign active politics if either of their parties fail to form the state government in June.
This election you have been campaigning very emotionally. You recently made a statement saying that you'll take sannyas. Why?
I said that in case I made an open challenge to Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, the Union Minister, because he has been telling that there is a hawa in favor of BJP. They are spreading lies that they are having a hawa in favor of BJP. So I said that, okay, if you have a hawa, then you should be forming government. I am saying there is a Navin hawa in the air. People are very fond of Navin Babu and they are going to give him a huge majority, 3/4 majority. So I make a challenge with you that Navin Babu is going to get 3/4 majority and he will swear in on 9th June from 11:30 to 1 p.m. So this is my statement. And if this won't happen, I'll resign from politics. You are saying that you are coming back to, you are getting into government. So will you accept my challenge? I will quit if Navin Babu won't become CM. Will you do the same thing if BJP won't go to power? That is my statement.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
The game of power politics has begun. The poll bugle has been sounded. Who will receive the death blow? Who will be checkmated? It still remains to be seen.
ये दिखाता है हर कार्यकर्ता का बुलंद हौसला.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
A defiant performance by Ten Hag's men. Now standing at 7 feet 4 inches, Satnam Singh is making his way into professional wrestling.
We are getting more good news for India.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबां केसरी।
Well, we have been talking about how the battle in Telangana has been focused upon the Hyderabad seat. But we have G. Kishan Reddy also contesting from Secunderabad, and there are prominent other candidates also in the fray when it comes to the Telangana region. Previously, we couldn't in fact complete that statement as the connection did in fact go. You were speaking about, when we were talking about OIC and Madhavi Lata, you were speaking about whether narrative has been reduced to that. I have one more question. Now, in one of these battles that has been going on, of course, it's been pitched as the Congress versus the BJP. How does the BRS factor in this particular election? You have one of its prominent leaders who, because of the liquor scam, has been in fact taken into ED custody. The BRS, we also heard that there has been a lot of desertions in the BRS just ahead of the elections, and some of them in fact decided not to contest despite being asked by the party or being given a ticket by the party. How is the situation of BRS when it comes to Telangana in this Lok Sabha elections?
Answering your question on BRS status, I guess it would be much worse than what it happened in during the assembly times, where they were marginally down in assembly elections. But coming to the parliament elections, it's very clear that the voters are more knowledgeable these days, and they see parliament differently with the assembly. And I guess out of the 17 seats in Telangana, all the 16, I mean, 16 would be between Congress and BJP, who would be 1 and 2. And in terms of Hyderabad, which is the lone constituency, there would be a direct fight between MIM and BJP. So there the Congress is immaterial, because although they fielded a Muslim as its candidate, but generally all the other parties, covertly or more covertly than overtly, that they support the MIM. So it is basically MIM versus BJP in Hyderabad, but rest of the constituency, it would be Congress versus BJP. And answering your question on the BRS, why it happened, it's not just because of the desertions and other things, but people look at this as a parliament elections, and there would be no use if sending any BRS guys to the parliament, and they would be wasting their votes. And more importantly is the kind of the allegations that were with the TRS government erstwhile. That also is a main concern for the voters, and so therefore BRS is also ran player in Telangana.
Let us also bring in KV Prasad into this particular aspect of that discussion. What is BRS's status going to be, KV Prasad? I mean, we have seen, of course, KCR campaigning. We have seen also KTR coming out and campaigning in large numbers as well. But is that enough? Is the trend, would they be able to arrest the trend that happened during the assembly elections?
Well, they have to give it a try, because elections are the best bet to try and see how much of the lost ground can be recovered. But it's too early in the sense just about 5 months down the line after the last assembly elections in December. So the fact that BRS has been out of power in the state, the fact that it has not done, what kind of contribution it can bring in the national politics will be looked at by the voters. And I do agree that voters in this country have discerned, even while voting, both for the assembly and for the parliament at the same time, something which Andhra would do right now, right? Today it's happening. So I think BRS has to understand, will know that they have to try and see how best it can recoup from what it's lost. But from all accounts that one hears, I think they are in a tough battle.
They're in a tough time. How do you see, in fact, Bandi Sanjay's candidature? Of course, he's been given a very tough, task as such. But how do you see his candidature? And he has been, in fact, heading the party for quite some time within the state. And there were other issues that happened because of it. The kind of replacement they tried to do at the last moment, but still trying to accommodate him. So all those factors came into play when Bandi Sanjay was given the ticket as well. But do you think it's an uphill task for Bandi Sanjay?
See, Bandi Sanjay has proven himself in the past, and as you acknowledge, he did a wonderful job by building the party as an opposition to the BRS. Why the BJP changed the last time, much has been written. There are reasons. People have also argued that probably if they had not changed him, the BJP, which had built the momentum, would not have lost it. So that's a political calculation the BJP made. They sent Union Minister, who is now contesting, G. Kishan Reddy. So those things have. So these Bandi Sanjay Kumar will have to work for himself because he knows his own political survival is at stake. Karimnagar is a fairly good district. Of course, once upon a time there was left, which was stronger there, but that doesn't exist in the same form and fashion. So BJP would try and again, and all the votes which probably went to BRS at one point of time, and Bandi having won as an incumbent, will have the advantage, as what I see it from here.
Let me also get in PVS Murli, and then we will in fact go to the Srinagar aspect of it. Murli, staying with Telangana, G. Kishan Reddy, who was brought in from the Union Ministry, do you think that in the future we are looking at the BJP projecting G. Kishan Reddy as the tall leader for the BJP in the state, and therefore that means sidelining a lot of people who had been very aggressive with the BRS?
I'm not too sure because my understanding is Kishan Reddy would be more comfortable at the center, being a cabinet minister, and probably the Telangana would get a new president in the near future after the elections, and that would be a major factor because their next target would be forming the government in Telangana, which means that they need to have a full-time president. And once bitten, twice shy. We all know what it happened with Bandi Sanjay, and so they would get a full-time president, and more important is, even as per the BJP's internal constitution, you cannot hold two posts, and so obviously, being a cabinet minister, it would be very difficult for Kishan Reddy to continue as a president. So this is where the cookie crumbles, and I think that would also give a fillip to the momentum for the BJP in Telangana.
All right. Now, let us in fact take a look at what is happening in Srinagar. Now, Srinagar's seat is going alone to the polls in this fourth phase, and the preparations are also underway. And let's listen into what our correspondent from the ground had to say about it.
आज लोकसभा चुनाव को लेकर मतदान होना है और इस समय हम मौजूद है सोनवार पोलिंग स्टेशन पर। आप देख सकते हैं तमाम तैयारियां मतदान को लेकर की गई हैं। यहां पर करीबन 8:30 बजे फारूक अब्दुल्ला और उनके साथ उमर अब्दुल्ला मतदान के लिए आएंगे। ये देख सकते हैं आप, ये सोनवार का पोलिंग स्टेशन है जो कि बिल्कुल गुपकार के सटीक वाली जगह है और अंदर पोलिंग स्टाफ, सिक्योरिटी स्टाफ वो लगातार तैनात है। ये बर्नहाल स्कूल में रखा गया है। श्रीनगर के और कहीं ना कहीं यहाँ पर फिलहाल लोगों के आने जाने की प्रक्रिया शुरू हुई है। हालांकि जिस तरह की तस्वीरें पुलवामा, गांधरबल और शहर श्रीनगर के अलग इलाकों से आ रही है, उससे ये लगता है कि मतदान को लेकर लोग काफ़ी एक्साइटेड है और इस बार मतदान की परसेंटेज में इजाफा देखने को मिलेगा। लगातार आप देख सकते हैं तस्वीरें, ये श्रीनगर के सुनवार इलाके का पोलिंग स्टेशन है। यहाँ पर वीआईपीज़ के लिए तैयारी रखी गई है। फारूक अब्दुल्ला और उमर अब्दुल्ला यहाँ पर 8:30 बजे के करीब आएंगे और मतदान जो है वो यहाँ करेंगे। तस्वीरें मुर्तज़ा थोड़ा अगर अंदर पोलिंग स्टेशन की दिखाएंगे, क्योंकि फ़िलहाल पोलिंग स्टेशन के अंदर जाने की इजाज़त नहीं है। और ये देख सकते हैं तमाम सुरक्षा कर्मी और बाहर भी बड़ी तादाद में सुरक्षा बल इस इलाके में मौजूद है। तमाम तैयारियां पहले से ही की गई थी और पोलिंग स्टाफ अपने पोलिंग स्टेशन पर अपने समय पे पहुंचा था और तमाम तैयारियां लगातार लोकसभा चुनावों को लेकर की गई थी और ख़ासतौर पर सुरक्षा के हवाले से जम्मू कश्मीर में लोकसभा को सफलपूर्ण तरीके से किया जाए, उसके चलते वो तैयारियां भी तमाम जो है जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस और अन्य सुरक्षा बलों की तरफ से की गई हैं। एक बार कैमरा थोड़ा मुर्तज़ा अगर पैन कर पाएँ तो आपको दिखाएं तस्वीरें उस तरफ, तो आप देख सकते हैं कि लगातार यहाँ पर कई सुरक्षा बल तैनात है और कई ऑफिसर्स लगातार आ रहे हैं। सिक्योरिटी स्टाफ जो है वीवीआईपीज़ का वो भी कुछ देर पहले यहाँ पर जायज़ा लेने के लिए आया था और यहाँ पूरी जांच पड़ताल के बाद और ख़ास तौर पर सिक्योरिटी स्क्रूटिनी के बाद जो है अंदर जाने की इजाज़त दी जाती है। और ये तमाम मीडिया कर्मचारी साफ तौर पर तस्वीरों में अगर मुर्तज़ा दिखाएं तो आप देख सकते हैं तमाम मीडिया कर्मचारी यहाँ पर वीवीआईपीज़ का इंतज़ार करते हुए फ़िलहाल, क्योंकि जिस तरह फ़िलहाल पता चला है तो 8:30 के करीब जो है यहाँ पर अब्दुल्ला परिवार मतदान के लिए आएगा। कैमरा पर्सन सैयद मुर्तज़ा के साथ इरफान कुरैशी, TV9 भारतवर्ष, श्रीनगर।
We slip into a short break now. News and updates will continue on the other side.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार, विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
America, there is an inheritance tax. In India, you don't have that.
कांग्रेस की लूट जिंदगी के साथ भी और जिंदगी के बाद भी।
Our manifesto combines ideology with effective administration with delivery that is long overdue.
Rahul Gandhi is talking about redistribution of wealth. You know, these are the things people are alert to. They want to know, what does Congress say when you say redistribute wealth?
I try and convert almost everything in a kind of a mathematical formula.
You should always stretch more than you can reach.
Listening is very important.
Because if you don't listen, how would you know what the problem is?
Everybody who's working in and around me, their personal well-being is also responsibility that I carry.
Great leaders have shared vision.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
So we in fact spoke about the heated situation that is happening when it comes to Telangana as well as Andhra Pradesh, the Lok Sabha elections. But what about the factor on the ground, especially when it comes to the assembly elections? Let us in fact go to KV Prasad, senior journalist. How do you in fact see YSRCP's presence within the assembly election fold? We are talking about, on one side, you have the TDP, which has been trying tremendously to ensure that they unseat Jagan Mohan Reddy. The YSRCP, of course, saying that's a bipolar contest. But then you have a familial member on the other side. We have YS Sharmila also in the context. But here, in Telangana, when it comes to the assembly elections, what is the factor on the ground? Is it the capital issue? Because we have seen how Jagan Mohan Reddy said that you need to have a city as a capital of Andhra Pradesh which has a port. And he was citing like Chennai, he was citing about Mumbai, Calcutta, with cities that have ports that have in fact grown. Do you think that is the main issue on the ground when it comes to the assembly elections? There should be a finality on the capital. And TDP, of course, as well as YSP have two differing opinions regarding the capital. Mr. Prasad? Well, let's go to, in fact, Murli. Murli, what do you think about it? Is that the capital factor is something that has weighed mostly when it comes to Andhra Pradesh's assembly elections?
Capital is one of the things, but I mean it's been there for the last 5 years where the capital is going to be. But then that's one point. But more important, answering your question on the impact of Sharmila's Congress in how it impacts YSRCP. My understanding is that whatever the YSRCP, whatever the Congress gets for Sharmila's Congress gets in Andhra, it's basically most of them would constitute from the sect of the women Christians. And so when the Christian vote gets split between Jagan and Sharmila, it would be more of a loss to Jagan than gain to Sharmila, because Congress in any way cannot form the government in Andhra. So to that extent, it's her introduction into the whole scenario is only going to make damage to Congress, to the YSRCP party, than to the other opposition parties. That's point one. Point two is the capital thing is there for quite some time, but once if in case Babu comes into power, obviously the whole capital issue would be set into rest, because he would in any case prefer Amaravati as the capital. So it would be a final aspect in as far as the capital issue is concerned. So to that extent, I guess in case the united opposition forms the government, it would be a kind of a different focus for the entire state.
All right. Now let me get in the national perspective. Ajit Kijao, senior journalist, also with us. We have seen how YSRCP has been a silent ally when it comes to the BJP. And now both of them are having their tough contest on the ground in Andhra Pradesh, especially on the assembly elections and to an extent even to the Lok Sabha elections. How do you see this combine of YSRCP and the BJP, first as rivals when it comes to the current elections, and then how YSRCP has always been a silent ally for the BJP, especially when it comes to certain legislations to be pushed through the Lok Sabha?
See, as far as my reading of Andhra elections, I feel that there is a fierce anti-incumbency against YSRCP. And I mean, he's been in power for 5 years, but somehow most of the surveys and talking to people, I get this, that the alliance led by TDP, BJP is actually in the Lok Sabha is likely to do rather well, will end up getting more seats. This is my understanding of Andhra. What is interesting is Telangana is right next to Andhra, and there, again, even in Lok Sabha, there is kind of a Congress wave again. I mean, they just won an assembly election, but there is a Congress wave again. In fact, it seems the number 2 will be between the BRS and the BJP. The BJP might end up doing a notch better than BRS. So what I'm saying is, here was a state divided into 2. One is having a Congress wave, the other is having a non-YSRCP wave, I mean anti-YSRCP wave against YSRCP. But as you said, I'm supposed to give a national perspective. I want to jump and get back to West Bengal because you raised the question of Asansol and Bardhaman. I grew up there for 16 years of my life. And let me tell you something very interesting there. Both the candidates of Trinamool Congress, Shatrughan Sinha, who is a sitting MP from Asansol, as well as Kirti Azad from Bardhaman, were at one time in the BJP. And now both are Biharis, and both have been brought by, to basically get the Bihari vote. This is, Asansol is a major industrial center after Calcutta area in West Bengal. And even when I was growing up, the majority of the population used to Bombay. And therefore, the idea is that get Shatrughan Sinha again, he's a sitting MP, he won last time, and Kirti, get the Bihari vote and get the Muslim vote and the Bengali vote of Trinamool combined. Now, the interesting thing is SS Ahluwalia has been fielded by the BJP, and SS Ahluwalia is actually born and brought up in Asansol. When I used to go to a nearby school called St. Patrick's, he was much senior to us, but he used to be in St. Joseph's. And his family, he comes from a business family. He was a bit of a national hero, a bit of a local hero at that time. So Ahluwalia, although he's a Sardar, but he would have tremendous amount of clout in Asansol, being an insider. So it will be an interesting fight there. Moving back to Uttar Pradesh, which we didn't kind of touch, although all the seats in Uttar Pradesh, 13 of them, have been won by the BJP, but the Kannauj seat is very interesting this time because Akhilesh Yadav is contesting from there. In fact, Akhilesh started his career from Kannauj in the year 2000, taking over from his father who used to win it earlier. Kannauj and Mainpuri, these two seats were the stronghold of the Yadav family. Last time, Dimple, his wife, had lost this seat, and as a result, he is going to contest it this time and try to wrest it away from the BJP. But the other seats around that area, of course, is a BJP stronghold. Finally, I wanted to get back to Bihar again, which we didn't touch at all. Over there, one particular seat, Begusarai, where Giriraj Singh had won last time, he had beaten Kanhaiya Kumar. Kanhaiya Kumar was, of course, a much stronger candidate, in a sense that he's a bit of a hero. But the Avdesh Rai, who has been fielded this time against Giriraj Kishore, there is no more, it's an India alliance versus NDA. So there is no more a triangular fight. Last time Kanhaiya Kumar had lost because there was a triangular fight. This time it's a direct fight. And Avdesh Singh is actually a local MLA who has won 3 times. So again, that seat might be up for grabs of Begusarai. So overall, if you look at this election, it's basically the southern states dominated again this time. This is the last phase. All the southern states would have completed their election. In the north, of course, most of the seats going to poll this time is dominated by the BJP, Madhya Pradesh, UP, Bihar, to some extent Bengal. But there are challenges, interesting fights in quite a few of them. Thank you.
In fact, we will now slip into a short break. We will continuously get you the coverage on the 4th phase of the elections. Of course, here we have the visuals of Pawan Kalyan coming in for voting. We leave you with this and stay tuned for further updates on the other side.
Golf as a game, it is closest to the game that you call life.
You've got to use your mind. You cannot lose it.
The sharpest person is one who understands his limitations.
खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा बंदे से पूछे कि तेरी रजा क्या है.
You might have A bad break after a good shot might have a good break after a bad shot, but the fact remains, you got to play the ball from where it lies.
Watch Jeev Milkha Singh on Duologue with Barun Das, streaming on News9 Plus.
Can the Trinamool candidate from Baharampur hit the ball out of the park?
50-60 दिन बहुत ज़्यादा बोल रहा हूँ, उससे पहले ही काम दिखने स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे.
Pitted opposite Pathan in Team BJP is Dr. Nirmal Kumar Saha.
The fight is not Adit Chaudhary and Nirmal Saha. The fight between Modi versus Rahul Gandhi.
Yusuf Pathan and Nirmal Saha, two professionals who have switched to politics, are taking on Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Can one of the first-time politicians end his winning streak?
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Film and entertainment is definitely one of the levers for any country to build its brand.
We are getting global. I feel that we're just on the takeoff.
More and more films are becoming language agnostic.
Content is a universal language.
There's one audience in the world.
Absolutely. End of the day, we all are like brothers who have mutual respect for each other from a different land.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है